Stellaris has had a seriously large number of DLCs since its release in 2016, and continues to release content, with Overlord coming out just yesterday. Each of them adds a ton of new content, from civics and traits to entirely new species and governments. I'm making this video to let you know what every DLC in Stellaris adds, so you can choose which ones you want to pick up to fit your preferred playstyle. Now we have a lot of DLC to get through, so let's waste no more time and dive right in. The Plantoids Species Pack was the first DLC for Stellaris and was released in August of 2016. It adds 2 new civics, Catalytics Processing and Idyllic Bloom, 3 new species traits, Phototrophic, Radiotrophic and Budding. It also adds 15 Plantoid portraits, the Plantoid ship model set, and the Plantoid cityscape art. The Leviathans story pack was released in October of 2016 and was a much larger release with 3 entirely new game features. It added Guardians, which are powerful entities spread throughout the galaxy that can be fought or investigated to unlock technology and other treasures. Enclaves, which are independent outposts that aren't part of any empire and can be interacted with to make deals for information, resources and artworks for your empire. And finally, War in Heaven. This adds fallen empires that start in the galaxy and can reignite their old rivalry if the move takes them, and you do not want to be caught in the middle. You'll be forced to pick a side or no side and suffer the consequences of that. Utopia, released in April of 2017, it introduces megastructures to the game, which are massive construction projects that grant you all sorts of bonuses. You can build Dyson spheres, which grant you massive amounts of energy, Ring Worlds, which supports all species pops in up to 10 unique districts, Science Nexus, which grants tons of research and increases research speed, and the Sentry Array, which has a massive scanner range and increases your base intel level. You also unlock habitats, which are massive space stations, are essentially artificial planets, and allow you to have more pops in a smaller space. These are great for building tall rather than wide. It also introduced traditions, which allow you to unlock bonuses for all areas of the Empire by spending Unity. Upon completing a tradition, you can unlock an Ascension perk, which are powerful, unique effects that add buffs to your Empire. Most of these were later added to the base game, however some of them are still locked behind this DLC. You can now also indoctrinate primitive planets into thinking your way, and eventually allow you to more easily annex them. This DLC also added the ability to play as a hive mind, which are a unique species without ethics that is made up of drones serving the collective, so does not have any internal struggles, but is mistrusted by all they meet, so prepare for near constant war and tension. This DLC also introduces 3 new extreme civics: Syncretic Evolution, which is several species on the same planet, Mechanists, which have discovered robotics before reaching space, and Fanatic Purifiers, which will tolerate no species other than their own in the entire galaxy. The Synthetic Dawn story pack released on September of 2017, and introduces 3 types of machine empires, each with their own preset: the Exterminator, which purges all organics, the Assimilator, which assimilates all organics as androids, and the Servitor, which serves a decadent organic species. All of these empires run on energy rather than food, so you can build your empire totally different to most others. You also gain access to a whole host of new options for traits and civics when creating your own empire. Machine empires also have leaders and pops that cannot die of old age, but do sometimes suffer lethal accidents and malfunctions, though much rarer than standard organic death. They can modify their pops similar to gene modding, and they also have the unique versatility tree, which replaces diplomacy in the traditions menu. This DLC also introduces fallen machine empires, which can spawn at the start of games or as a result of machine rebellion. And of course it also adds the new AI advisor pack,
self-destruct sequence initiated,
and some new AI portraits. The Humanoid Species pack was released on December of 2017. It adds 2 new civics: Pleasure Seekers and Pompous Purists. Also adds the Clone Army origin to the game, as well as 10 humanoid portraits, the Humanoid ship model set, the Vortechnocracy Empire preset, the Humanoid cityscape art, and 3 advisor sets: the Defined Xenophile,
the Blorg are very friendly creatures,
the Disciplined Militarist,
it is a good day to die,
and the Ruthless Materialist.
No, it'll be fine. I'm telling you, just turn off the fail-safes and...
as well as 3 new soundtrack songs. Apocalypse released February 2018 and introduces several new things focusing on large-scale war. It introduces the late-game planet killer ship called Colossus, which can come in one of 5 forms to render a planet useless to its original inhabitants. Also adds Marauders, which are small nomadic empires which can be hired as mercenaries to lead your fleets or be sent to attack rival empires for you. These Marauders can sometimes be united under a Great Khan, which will cause them to start expanding unless paid off via tribute or fought off via massive military fleet strength. It also adds late-game edicts called Ambitions, which are seriously powerful and cost a lot of Unity to enact. The DLC also adds 3 new civics: Life Seeded, Barbaric Despoilers, and Post-Apocalyptic, as well as adding 4 new Ascension perks. The Distant Stars story pack released on May 2018 and introduces L-gates to the map, which are a network that can allow access to another constellation outside of your own, though it may not be the most hospitable place to visit. This DLC also introduces a massive amount of new anomalies, as well as many new solar system types to spice up explorations and colonization. It adds 3 new Leviathans that can appear on the map, and will require either a lot of science or a massive military force to defeat. Megacorp, released in December of 2018, it introduces the Megacorporation Empire types, which have their own huge list of civics. They can also use branch officers, which allow them to build unique buildings to benefit both empires without having to befriend the target all that much. Just get a trade deal, and you're all good to go. This DLC also adds the new Euchromonopolis planet type, which is capable of supporting a ridiculously huge population. If a regular planet reaches a certain amount of districts and population, you can enact a decision to turn it into a Euchromonopolis for even more space. This DLC also adds 3 new Megacorp advisor voices.
Every successful economy is built around a hopeless cycle.
Our multidisciplinary customer satisfaction specialists are always just
Workers of the galaxy, unite!
And 3 Caravaneers to the galaxy. These are traders that drop by your planet with trade deals every once in a while that can get you some pretty top tier goods, though sometimes for a less than desirable price. There are also some traders placed in systems throughout the map that allow you to gamble energy credits at them for various mystery boxes of rewards. You also of course gain the 3 Megacorporation preset empires, as well as 3 new megastructures. Matter Decompressor, which uses black holes to harvest minerals, Mega Art Installations, which produce Unity, and the Strategic Coordination Centers, which grants massive offensive and defensive buffs to starbases, as well as increasing fleet capacity. And finally, this DLC also introduced the Slave Market, allowing you to buy and sell slaves on the galactic market. The Ancient Relics story pack released in June 2019, and of course introduces relics and artifacts to the game, which are primarily found from excavation sites, which are spread on planets throughout the galaxy. Minor artifacts are the most common to find, and can be spent on several things, such as planet decisions and actions on the relic screen. Relics are more rare and come with powerful passive and active effects for your empire, and often require a large number of resources to unlock their active effects. This DLC also adds 2 new precursor species to the galaxy that have their own anomalies, which can be investigated to understand what happens to them, and also adds a new relic planet type that grants unique bonuses to research, but are covered in expensive blockers that can slow you down significantly. The Lithoids species pack released in October of 2019. It adds unique mechanics for Lithoid empires, which can eat minerals instead of food, live extra long, and colonize almost any settlement. Alongside this, you unlock 15 Lithoid portraits, the Lithoid ship model set, and the Lithoid advisor pack.
Fields, rocks, mountainsides, lend me your ears.
Federations released in March of 2020, and it allows you to form new types of federations which come with their own passive effects and perks as you level them up and customize them with laws. It also adds a galactic community, which is an intergalactic senate that can vote to pass on resolutions to mend issues and shape the galaxy. This DLC also added a bunch of origins to the game that allow you to add some background info to your empires. This allows you more customization when building your own empire, as well as unique bits of gameplay for the early game. Alongside this, you also gain the new Juggernaut ship class, which can build and reinforce its own fleets while still being somewhat mobile, as well as unlocking the new megastructure, the Mega Shipyard. This allows you to build ships at an almost alarming rate with massive capacity and speed that affects your entire empire. This also allows you to build Titans, Colossus, and Juggernaut ships. The Necroid species pack was released in October of 2019. It adds the new origin of Necrophage, as well as 3 new civics: Death Cult, Reanimated Armies, and Memorialists. Alongside this, you also gain 16 Necroid portraits, the Necroid ship model set, a Necroid advisor,
entropy, dilapidation, decay,
Necroid cityscape art and diplomacy rune, name lists, and building appearances. Nemesis was released in April of 2021. This DLC focuses on the endgame of the galaxy and adds a few options for you to destroy everything or take on the role of keeping it safe. Your options are to become the Crisis, which allows you to surge in power until you can wipe out everything and everyone all at once. Alternatively, you can become the Galactic Custodian, which requires the full support of the galactic community to grant you emergency powers to battle the Crisis, and once it is over, you can either release your powers or create the Galactic Imperium. This DLC also adds new espionage mechanics, which include new operations that allow you to manipulate empires without them ever knowing that you were there, and it also adds the new Imperial ship set. The Aquatic species pack was released on November of 2021 and adds 2 new origins: Here Be Dragons and Ocean Paradise. You also gain the new Anglo Civic, the Hydrocentric Ascension perk, and the Aquatic trait. You also gain 16 aquatic portraits, the Aquatic ship model set, the Aquatic advisor,
Our course is charted.
and of course 4 aquatic name lists. And finally, Overlord was released on May 2022, and it brought massive changes to vassalization. You can now negotiate terms of subjugation to specialise your vassals. Megacorp overlords can now unlock new buildings for their branch officers, and the DLC also adds new megastructures. Orbital rings provide massive bonuses to planets as well as being powerful defense structures. Hyper relays allow ships to jump around the galaxy at high speeds, and the quantum catapult can allow you to throw ships across the galaxy with some questionable accuracy. This DLC also adds new enclaves, salvagers which specialise in engineering, and shroud walkers which provide more mystic boons. And finally mercenaries, which are created when you release fleets into the galaxy that can provide rewards to the home empire but are still only loyal to currency, so are just as likely to turn on you as they are to work for you. And finally, this DLC adds 5 new origins: Imperial Fiefdom, Teachers of the Shroud, Slingshot to the Stars, Subterranean, and Progenitor. It's a hard word, okay? And that is every DLC up until now. No doubt in the future more DLCs will come, as Stellaris really is one of those games that could be added to forever, since you really do have an entire galaxy to play with. Hope this video was useful too. If it was, then consider leaving it a like. Maybe subscribe to see more Stellaris and other strategy gaming content. I'd like to take this last little bit of time to thank all supporters of the channel, like Adam T, and of course Henry Tucker for his support at the Unclean Ones tier. If you'd like to become a supporter and get your own name shouted out on the end screen, then become a member here on YouTube, a patron on Patreon, or a subscriber on Twitch. Huge thank you to every single supporter. One final thank you for watching, and for now, I've been COLONELDAMNEDERS, and I will see you next turn.